almost poked my eye out in disgust there. Good afternoon, lovely people of the internet, and welcome back to Maverick Baking. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kelly, and I always want to help you make your life more delicious. Whether that's telling you which junk foods you should or definitely should not buy, sharing recipes, sharing my thoughts and advice, or just talking nonsense about food, I'm here for you. Today, after many requests for this and similar kinds of video, we are delving into the world of chocolate boxes. Now, at this time of year, not so much in this grim year of 2020 as we're confined to our own little caves, but usually Christmas time, at least in the UK, revolves hugely around the titans of affordable chocolate boxes. Cadbury's Heroes, Mars Celebrations, Nestle's Quality Street, and Cadbury's Roses. Now, we have already tackled the definitive ranking of 2 of these products, which means we have 2 to go. And it's not long till Christmas, so you better buckle up. Today we are discussing potentially the most controversial of all 4 of these products, and that is Cadbury's Roses. Yeah, I don't really remember what's inside them either. Cadbury's Roses are a bit of an odd one. I believe they have been around forever, really. You know, cavemen, mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, they all knew about Cadbury's Roses. But these things never ever seem to be anyone's favourite. People seem to love Cadbury's Heroes, so what is it about Cadbury's Roses that just doesn't get people going? I'll tell you what it is. They're not great. But regardless of their quality or anyone's opinion of them, today I want to give you the undisputed definitive ranking of these incredibly mediocre chocolates. Enjoy. Coming in very bottom and the most easily neglectable of the entire Cadbury Roses selection. Might be controversial to some, entirely sensible to me. It's the Golden Barrel. Now this thing is something I would avoid just because of the name. I know it's gonna have something to do with artificial toffee, you're just not really sure what. And then when you bite into it, as my poor unsuspecting Francesco did the other day, you just have this kind of reservoir of caramel ejaculated into your face, for want of a better term. It is violent with its fluidity. You need to put this in your mouth all in one, or you will just dribble caramel all over a 4-mile radius, let's be honest. It's too runny, it's too gooey, the whole texture just does not work in your mouth because there isn't enough chocolate to stand up to that liquid glucose. It's not a winner. It's one I would happily leave to the bottom of the box and kind of make its way to a relative I wasn't particularly keen on. It's not for me. In a similar vein, we move our way to the caramel. Now you might be thinking, why on earth do both of these products, number 8 and number 9, exist in the same box? Well, dear sweet viewers, your guess is as good as mine. This is what should have been the Golden Barrel in its ridiculously liquid caramel filling, but it's not. This caramel, for some reason, is like sticky, hard and chewy. Again, up against a chocolate that does not balance out its flavour at all. It's just sweet and kind of trash. I don't really have anything else to say. It's a no from me. Next, we move on to what is potentially one of the most hated Cadbury's Roses, and for good reason. We're talking about the Strawberry Dream, which honestly is more of a strawberry nightmare combined with terrifying sleep paralysis. This thing shouldn't exist. I'm gonna go out there and say that. It just shouldn't. While strawberry and chocolate together is not inherently problematic, it ain't good, really. If this had been a kind of delicious white chocolate filling that had a little bit of a kind of strawberry milkshake flavouring, it might be okay. It would probably still be far too sweet, incredibly obnoxious, and not suitable for any time of year or occasion, but it might at least be a bit more enjoyable to consume. This thing, on the other hand, is filled with this disgusting, soft, fondant icing stuff that's scented with artificial strawberry. And it's rank. Hence why it is number 7. In a very, very similarly nauseating vein, we move on to number 6, which is the tangy orange creme. Even though the UK and many other countries are getting incredibly sick of the combination of chocolate and orange at this time of year, it's something that should be classic, but has now been done so many times, you wouldn't even bat an eyelid at it. This is probably one of the worst examples of this product that exists, I'm gonna be totally honest. I almost poked my eye out in disgust there. Much like the strawberry filling, the filling in this should not be what it is. If it was a kind of milk chocolatey truffle type thing, fair enough. It's not. It doesn't taste of natural orange. It doesn't even taste of good artificial orange. It's just garbage. End of story. Next we move on to a similarly mediocre chocolate, being number 5, the country fudge. Now, what determines the country fudge from the more metropolitan city fudge? I'm yet to find out. That joke wasn't even worth making, let's be honest. This thing, not too dissimilar from the kind of Cadbury's fudge, but not really good either. It's just too hard. I can physically squeeze this, but it takes far too much of my effort to do that. And doing it with my, relatively weak fingers is a lot better than doing it with my incredibly weak dentine. So this thing, for all it lacks in flavour and all it does in, aggressively stiff texture, it's not good. Next we move on to something that enraged me enough in Heroes, and it enraged me enough in Celebrations when it came to the plain Galaxy chunk. We're talking about the plain Dairy Milk chunk. Now, I think the worst part about this one in particular is the size of the packaging, in that less than 50% of it is actually filled with chocolate. This thing is less of a chunk and more of a crumb, and it doesn't belong here. They aren't Cadbury Dairy Milk Roses. I don't understand why this is in here. The branding doesn't fit. The colour barely even fits with the rest of the packaging. Not only that, you're being absolutely shafted of your money if you consume this thing in this box. If you want to buy an assorted box of milk chocolate sweets, why on earth would you want a plain one that you could get for so much cheaper? If I wanted this, I would buy a Dairy Milk, not a box of roses. There's nothing, severely wrong with it. It's Cadbury's usual relatively sweet, uniquely flavoured combination of vegetable fat and vanilla with a relatively chalky texture that's still mildly enjoyable because of childhood nostalgia, but it's a solid number 4. Next we move into what could be described as positive from this box, but not entirely. We move on to the signature truffle, which again takes up a dismal amount of this packaging. This thing is so unremarkable, it may as well not be in here. While I understand it more than the kind of plain chunk of Dairy Milk, oh my god, it is boring. It's neither kind of dark nor rich with cocoa. There's nothing particularly luxurious or truffly about it. The centre isn't smooth and melting ganache. It's just like a chalky, vaguely less firm form of chocolate than the shell on the outside. There's no kind of enjoyment in the texture. The flavour is so dull and forgettable. And really, is there anything more grim than that? Well, yes, actually, the many chocolates that came lower on this list, but that's enough of that. Coming in second place in the definitive ranking of Cadbury's Roses, we have the Hazel Whirl. It's fine. It's got a bit hazelnut flavour in there. I don't really know why she's called Hazel instead of hazelnut. It's not like they didn't have enough room on the packaging. This one's fine. It's vaguely enjoyable because the hazelnut is a little bit of a flavour difference, and it goes relatively well with the sweet chocolate that's inside it. It's fine. And number 1 in the definitive ranking of Cadbury's Roses is going to be nowhere near as kind of impassioned an introduction as you got when I ranked Celebrations, because truly this thing does not stand up to the teaser's sweet. But the number 1 is the hazel and caramel. This is potentially the only rose. Are they individually rose? Plural roses in this case? I have no idea. The sweet from Roses is the only one that offers any kind of textural intrigue. The others are so bland and one-dimensional. This one is the only one that kind of gets a mention for that. You have a hazelnut, you have caramel, you have chocolate. It's at least 2 different textures. You have a bit of crunch, a bit of goo, and a bit of whatever the chocolate is supposed to be. It's nothing groundbreaking in terms of flavour or texture combinations, but it's one that you can see yourself eating more than one of. The caramel isn't kind of as offensive as in the Golden Barrel, but neither is it as boring as it is in the caramel sweet. It's fine. The hazelnut adds a bit of intrigue and something natural compared to the artificial monstrosity of the rest of them, but you know what, it's still below the entirety of the boxes of Heroes and Celebrations. And that's about it, to be honest. I feel like I've raced through these, but I feel like I've given the Cadbury Roses all that they deserve. Not much. Do let me know in the comments if you agree with any of my views, or if you hugely disagree. I'd love to know if roses are your favourite sweets. What do you think makes them different, better or worse from the other super famous box chocolates we see in the UK at this time of year? I'd really love to know. These things I eat probably once every 2 years, and that's about it. If it wasn't for this video, this box would not have even been purchased. I'll be honest. If you guys enjoyed today's video, do not forget to hit that little cheeky thumbs up button on the way out. It really helps my channel battle against the notorious algorithm that YouTube keeps inside itself, whatever that means. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you for the next one.